That article was
Sorry,
Kareem,
I just need a little more detail on
Kareem
what the article is about.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Now
Put mine up there. Kareem Abdul, Shane
yeah,
Gillis.
I could
do that.
motherfucker.
He also went by Cassius Clay, but I think he wrote this later in his career. And he had another one that I didn't know if Shane was included in the one where he was talking about all these people being canceled and why it was a good thing.
After Kareem wrote that article, that one hurt.
Well, how early on was that?
It was pretty early, I think.
Wow.
I think it was like before I got fired. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
And then I got off a train in New York, and as the doors opened, it was just an ad for one of his books.
Oh,
and
really?
I was like, oh, that's why he wrote that.
Wow.
Because he's selling a book, so he stuck a knife in me.
Oh.
Like, what a fucking disgusting world.
So you didn't take a lot of downtime and drown your sorrows in vodka.
No.
You said, I'm going to go back out and do stand-up.
Yeah, I did stand up the whole time.
And you felt like, almost like somebody saying, get exercise through COVID. Like it kept you sane in that period.
For sure.
And how long before you sort of, I mean, were you able to get philosophical about it early, or did it take a while?
Yeah, I was definitely, but I like to keep that to myself. I'd hate to go on a podcast and be philosophical.
No, I just mean,
yeah, no,
you put it into context.
I was able to contextualize it pretty quickly, and I was able to be like, there was never a part of me that was like, all right, I'm going to quit, or like, oh, this is the end. It was always, I always had a pretty big picture idea of what was going on. And I understood the culture that we were in comedy better than I think most people going into it. Because I'd experienced it because it always starts at like the local scene. So I'd experienced this type of like left versus right or club versus alt comedy battle in Philadelphia a year or two before I left. So I'd seen how this works and how like people act on the internet, like where people you thought were your friends would be like, yeah, he also he outed a guy for sucking a trans guy's dick. And they'll just tweet that just to bury you while you're,
Did they?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Was there a part of you that could be like,
I don't know.
I can almost study this through the lens of our like a sociology major, like this crazy fucking chapter we're in our society, even if it's me in the eye of the storm?
Yeah, I will say this. I definitely thought I could, which was funny because I was fucked up. Like it was like, it really,
I know.
It damages you. So like the whole time I was trying to like, it was definitely a self-defense mechanism where I was like, I'm fine. I was fucked up.
You know, the sad part of I had this happen to me a little bit. It's like people you thought were friends. It's never a best friend, but it's like the guys guys you've worked with, comedians you've supported, done things for, helped out, blah, blah, blah. Having them fucking jump on the bandwagon. It's so fucking sad. It's like, dude, no one even knows who you are. Did you really have to put that out, that shitty tweet out there? And then you think back of the time you let the guy crash on your sofa.
Yeah, you gave him a ride to a show.
Or you did some shit for him. You put him on your podcast. You did blah, blah, blah. And they got to fucking jump in with something shitty. That's the saddest part to me.
Those were the worst.
Those were the worst, right?
For sure. And that was all Philly people. That was all, because I was Philly.
Right.
So it was all the Philly comedy scene. They were the ones that were really like, there were guys that I was friends with that would like tweet out like paragraph stories of be like, here's a time he was a bully in the comedy scene.
You were like,
there's adult men going around calling other adult men bullies in fucking comedy.
Yeah, and there's
if you're 30 and you have a bully,
oh my God,
kill yourself.
But then it's like guys are like, hey, dude, I played your cancer charity benefit for fucking free 4 months ago, and you're talking shit. It's so fucking sad. Do we have that article? Sorry, Chris.
Kareem?
I have the Kareem article.
Kareem
about
taking
Shane.
a shot, that motherfucker.
So this is Hollywood Reporter, September 2019. It's titled Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Shane Gillis, SNL, and the Art of the Post-Racist Rant Apology. It's tempting to open this column by repeating Shane Gillis' homophobic, anti-Asian, and misogynistic slurs that got him fired from Saturday Night Live.
Already sounds funny, though.
To show just how desperately unfunny, derivative, and dripping with flop sweat they are. But their level of funniness is not the point. Comedians have the right to be unfunny sometimes, just as athletes have the right to lose games and actors to be in bad films. But when a comedian makes hate-based comments, as Gillis did on his podcast,
Right.
we do have an obligation to take a closer look to
No,
see
you don't.
whether
That's
they
the whole
are insightful provocateurs of culture and the human condition, or just another middle schooler blowing milk out of their nose for a quick laugh, not caring who they spatter with milky
I'll be
snot
honest.
in
I
the
am
process.
a middle schooler spouting milk out of my nose.
Spit take,
And
whole
that's
milk, any time, even if it's Kareem's chocolate milk, I still feel like I want that spit take.
Yeah.
And by the way, this is this whole thing where they go, I'm all for free speech. I'm all for free expression.
this
I'm all
time.
for the First Amendment. But you got to understand, if you want to come on this campus with your hate, now I'll just need to vet it. Like they always set the table with, hey, I got a sense of humor. This is all great. But not this guy, not now.
You know what
Not
bothered
for
me the most about that? It was when he said flop sweat. And I remember being like, this fucking pussy just like contacted another comedian. Or like he found a comedian and be like,
Right.
what's bombing like? What's the word I should use here?
Right.
While he's sitting there fucking typing
sweat.
it. Flop sweat. Oh, that's good. I'll include that.
Is there any more, Max, about it? Just 'cause it's
Yeah, there's
great.
another excerpt that I liked. The weakest of all of Shane's defenses in this case is when he's a, quote, comedian who pushes boundaries. He's right that artists push boundaries of cultural
I agree with him
conventions.
on that.
Lenny Bruce, Dick Gregory, and Richard Pryor all push boundaries. The difference between an artist and an artisan is the artist's willingness to poke at the audience's comfort level in an effort to unveil weakness, discrepancies, and hypocrisies. Not everyone appreciates having their values questioned. That's why it's important that we give artists plenty of leeway to sincerely explore their interpretation of humanity. The goal of the artist is to bring people together by showing us our similarities through our weaknesses, even when we are reluctant to acknowledge them. At the same time, we are under no obligation to financially support self-proclaimed artists like Shane Gillis,
Self-proclaimed.
whose work promotes
I
hatred.
could see his windbreaker with the rainbow tape on it that says artist, and then there's an arrow just pointing at him. Self-proclaimed. Oh, it's so I love that.
Yeah.
All right,
Fucking
that's enough.
Kareem,
Yeah, I
dude.
know.
But
Get
look,
to the article where his son stabbed a guy. You should have been parenting, Kareem. You
Well,
fucking loser.
to be fair, with that reach, it's almost
True.
impossible not to stab a guy. Like you literally pull
Just
out a
eating.
butter knife and someone gets stuck. You try to put a little schmear in a bagel, someone's going to get hurt. But look, let's look at it this way, Shane.
Sorry, that
When you
thing's
were
so
growing
fucking
up
loud.
in, it's all right. When you were in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and you were 11, could you have ever dreamt of a day where Kareem Abdul-Jabbar would
trashing
pen-
you. Just trashing you in the news.
Well, let's put it to you this way. If I got hold of 11-year-old Shane Gillis, right?
Yeah.
And you're living in Mechanicsburg, and
Yeah.
and I said to you, look, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, greatest NBA scorer of all time, is going to write an article about you. You'd say,
I must be an astronaut.
I'm over the moon, right?
Oh,
You go nuts, right? It's insane, right? But what if I then said, it's not going to be positive? I bet an 11-year-old Shane Gillis would have said, let's do it.
yeah, I'll take
Let's
it.
roll the dice.
Did I shoot the president? What happened?
And then
No.
you'd have to wait
You had a podcast.
another long 19 years to find out.
It was a podcast.
That would just be the greatest scenario, hypothetical ever. I just go, it's pretty negative. I can't tell you. There's no jail time. You know what I mean? You haven't hurt anybody or yourself. It's very negative, and it's penned by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
You got to take it, right?
I feel like
you have to take it.
You have to take it.
If you have to definitely include no crime. There's no crime.
Yeah, I would tell you that.
And it's just Kareem Abdul is going to write an article about you.
Right.
He's going to trash you on CNN.
I'm the ghost of Kareem future. And this is
I'll
what
take that deal.
you take it.
Would you?
Fuck yeah. And here we are.
Yeah.
And there you go. All right, I'll give you the name of the stand-up special, Shane Gillis, live in Austin. It's very funny. It's free on YouTube. I'll give you some live dates as well. You guys got to go out and support people who are being deplatformed because you cannot. First off, these people learn quickly there is no such thing as deplatforming once there's a million platforms. And that's the new world order.